Hey guys, so as promised, I have a video for you going over my sketching and planning process, but it's mostly a sketching process for a few of the Christmas ornaments I am going to be painting. I didn't include every single ornament I was going to be doing just because it would have been way too long of a video. I even had to speed this one up so it would be under an hour. So it's going at 2 times the speed. I hope that's okay for you guys. I actually got the 30 ornaments through Amazon. They were these wood shaped, like kind of raw edge ornaments. I got the bigger ones because I do better painting big, so I figured that would be the way to go. I also decided to go the acrylic route, and then I was trying to figure out how to, seal these because that's definitely a concern of mine. I want them to last. I don't want the paint to chip. So I ended up looking up different things I could use to seal it or like kind of varnish it, I guess. But I ended up going with, they have a Mod Podge. Is it Mod Podge? I'll post a picture of it on the screen, but this is what I got. I'm going to be using it over the paint once it's done to kind of seal it into the wood so that it'll last longer, hopefully. The other thing I had to consider was who I was making these for. I actually made a huge list. I sat down one night and just put it all together. And obviously I can't go over 30, but I also was trying to keep in mind that I don't have much time before Christmas. Probably should have done this a while ago. Probably should have started planning this in October, but I'm a procrastinator through and through. Even now, making this video, it's Sunday. This is the day it's supposed to go out, and I'm just recording a voiceover now. And part of that's because I do have my cousin visiting here, so I do apologize that the video is late, but I wanted to spend some time with her because I haven't seen her in over 6 months, and we're close, so I wanted to make sure I was playing a nice host while also making sure we got some quality time before she has to go back in a couple days. So again, I apologize for it being late, but you still got a video on Sunday, and that's all I can say. The holidays are kind of tough with this, so I'm still going to try to get videos out on time, but I also have to start pre-recording some other videos for when I'm in New Jersey because I'm going up to New Jersey for Christmas. And I still want to put out a video, believe it or not, on Christmas, but it's just going to be a bit difficult to get all this done, including the gifts that I'm making handmade. So I did have to take that into account when I was making the list of people I wanted to give ornaments to. I decided I would at least do my aunts and uncles, as well as my grandparents and my parents. I just figured those are the basic people. I also am making one for a friend, so there's that. I also plan on a couple for my great aunt and her 2 sons. So my cousin's one first removed because they're my father's cousins. So I think I might be seeing them Christmas Eve, so I figured I'd add them to my list. And then I kind of made like a second list, which these are kind of people that I would, if I have enough time, I'll make ornaments for them. And they're basically my cousins, the ones that I'm going to see for Christmas. An aunt of mine who is no longer related to me, but because she was related to me through marriage, but she isn't anymore. She always sends me a card and some money every year for Christmas, even though she doesn't have to. So I just thought it would be a nice gesture if I have some time to get it done. But that second list is pretty short, so I'm hoping I can do it just because I think it'd be nice to give something to my cousins, even though we don't really normally get each other gifts. It's usually not something we do, but I still wanted to do it. And once that list was made, I started going through and kind of going to each. So I paired the couples together. So my mom and my stepdad are one ornament. I was thinking basically what they kind of represent Christmas time for me, or what I kind of associate them with, I guess. It's not just that though. Some of it's random, some of this is something that is special to us. I grew up watching The Grinch, the original, with the cartoon. It was always on ABC. I remember like channel 7, I think. So channel 7 or channel 9, I can't remember, on like before like cable was a thing. And we used to watch it in my living room, usually at night when it was playing. And we'd be in our pajamas, we'd have hot cocoa, and the lights would be out except for, you know, the holiday lights, and we'd have the fireplace going. It was just a nostalgic feeling, a very seasonal feeling, especially like I think that one night that I'm like recalling vividly, it was snowing. So for me, this movie is just iconic. It's what Christmas is, message aside. So don't get me wrong, I do love the Jim Carrey version, but I think the original cartoon has like a place in my heart that could never replace. We watch both these days. Like, I haven't seen the one with Cumberbatch. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I haven't seen that cartoon yet, but I don't know. For me, there's only 2 Grinches. There's the live action one with Jim Carrey, which I love. It's absolutely good one for if you want to laugh. And then there's the heartfelt one, the one I feel like is probably closest to what Dr. Seuss intended, and that's the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm not going to say who I picked this ornament for just because I don't know if they're going to watch this video or not. Some of my family members do watch my videos, so I don't want to give it away. Some of them already know I'm giving ornaments. My cousins definitely don't know that I'm planning, if I have time, to give them ornaments that I made, so I don't want to give too much away, but I don't think any of my cousins really watch my videos, so it's okay. But I did want to point out the Grinch. I really wanted him to look like himself, and I think I achieved that. I also wanted to have a finalized sketch, so like I did a very rough-ish, it wasn't really even that rough, sketch on one layer, and then I went over kind of like doing line art on the second layer. You'll see later on with the other, I think I did 4 ornaments in this video. I am not the same as far as like how I approach it. I definitely went about it differently, and I think I actually enjoyed it more doing it that way. I basically just did a rough sketch and then cleaned it up a little bit. I didn't do a second layer with a more finalized like line art, because I just felt like, what's the point? In the end, I'm going to paint over whatever sketch I put on these wooden circles, so I didn't want to spend too much time trying to finalize something as if I was going to print it out when I'm clearly not. So that's the other thing I have to kind of approach as well. I don't know how I'm going to transfer these onto the wooden blocks. I don't know if I'm going to just try to redraw it while looking at it, or if I'm going to try to do the grid system. I have to like actually open the box with the ornaments in it and see how big they actually are like in my hand. So I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. Hopefully I can still do something nice, despite the fact digital art makes things a bit easier because I can size things up and size things down and edit things, whereas in real life you can't really do that. So I just hope I come up with some sort of plan while I'm figuring it out. I definitely enjoyed drawing the Grinch. When I finished, I was so proud that he looked like close to the image I had of him. I even sent a picture to my brother, and he was like, yeah, that looks like him. So that made me happy. I didn't do like a color on him. I just figured I'd do sketches and then like figure out color before I do the blocks themselves, like paint the blocks, just because there is a difference in color between, you know, what you see on the screen and what the paints are. And here I'm switching to the next ornament, and I really wanted to do cookies with milk. Initially, I wasn't planning on putting the hand in it, but you'll see I end up doing that just because it adds something. But it's funny, initially I was just going to do the milk plus a sign that said for Santa. You can see me doing like the little folded piece of paper there with for Santa on it. But I ended up deciding in the end this wasn't what I wanted and it didn't look right to me. So you'll see I get rid of the for Santa tag and I replace it with milk and a hand reaching for the cookies, which, let me tell you, drawing hands, especially like when it's like at a weird angle like this, like it didn't look like a hand to me, but if you were to break down that image of the hand, the glove hand, and just looked at it for what it was as far as like just lines, like if you put it down to its most basic like just shape, it looks nothing like a hand. It looks like some claw thing going for the cookie. So, you know, I hope I did it somewhat justice, like some justice, but I don't know really. We'll see how it comes out when I do the drawing itself. But generally my plan is for backgrounds at least not to paint a background. I think just painting the items themselves is enough because the wooden background will be nice shining through. But a part of me is also like, I don't know, because when I saw the Grinch with that blue background, like he just pops. So let me know like down in the comments if you guys think I should paint backgrounds on these these wooden ornaments, or if I should go with the whole background being non-existent and just have the wood peek through. I used two different references for this ornament. I really wanted a milk bottle, not a glass of milk, so I did get an image of a bottle with a straw in it, and I went with the straw too. I liked the idea, but I do end up editing the angle of the straw just because of how it looked. I also do end up making the bottle look more like a milk bottle later on. Right now it just kind of looks like, I don't know, a vase. So there's that. And this is actually for someone, well, two someones, and I think it really is a good testament to them as people. I don't think they'll ever watch this, so I could say who it was, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. They'll know when I give it to them. And I will be recording all the footage, I will be recording all the sketches that I do, but I don't know if I'm going to be sharing all that footage. If you guys want me to release like an extra video at some point with all the footage for the other sketches, I can totally do that. Just, you know, let me know. I know I say that a lot in my videos, but I really do like take your feedback into consideration, and I want to communicate with you guys more as far as what you guys want, because then it makes things a little bit easier for me, and it also allows me to deliver things you actually want to watch. But speaking of watching videos, if you guys are watching this and find that you enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. It helps out the channel as well as the video, gets more eyes on it. And while you're there, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. I post videos every Sunday, and I plan on posting Christmas, hopefully. That will be a video to look forward to. I also am planning to do a video on my goals for the new year and kind of what I'm planning for the channel in the new year. So if you want to come along and watch an artist, you know, grow as both a professional as well as a person, and kind of figure out what they want to do with their skills, I highly recommend hitting that subscribe button and clicking that bell, because the bell will tell you whenever I post something, which if you just want to know, have your phone tell you instead of having to go look for me, it's helpful. And if you don't have a phone, it lets you know on the computer too. So this sketch, I felt like I needed to do more of a line work layer. It's really the next one and the one after that that I don't go into line work so much and like cleaning it up, but I felt like because of the way the hand looked and how many lines were like intersecting with each other that I really needed another layer. You'll also see on this layer that I do edit the hand quite a bit. I don't follow the lines beneath in the rougher sketch, so there's that. I actually really love that that straw looks like a candy cane. I think it just fits the theme very well. If I have more time, I would love to do like the blurred Christmas tree in the background, but I just don't think I have that kind of time for these ornaments. So it'll just have to be either the plain wood or painting it something, just a solid color. So that was the plan for this one. Do you guys leave cookies and milk out for Santa if that's the holiday, if you celebrate Christmas, or even if you don't celebrate Christmas? I know some people, I actually went to school with someone who didn't celebrate Christmas like in the religious way, but they like celebrate it in the commercial way, if that makes sense. I feel like most people celebrate it in the commercial way anyway, but her family did the commercial bit, so they still like got a tree and, you know, got presents and stuff, even though they themselves weren't Christian or Catholic or part of the church in the sense that, you know, they celebrate Christmas in a religious way. I don't know, like we've always left chocolate chip cookies out, and when we were younger it was fun because my dad, spoiler, like I wouldn't let your kids watch this. If your kids are around, cover their ears because obviously I don't want to spoil anything. But I'm going to talk about what my father did. So he would actually eat the cookies, or maybe my mother helped him. They would eat the cookies and like leave some crumbs, and then of course the milk would be gone. And one year he actually set this whole elaborate thing up. I remember it. I was living in like the second house I lived in when I was a child, and my brother was alive, so I had to be at least 5 or 6. He got a picture of Santa's boot going up the fireplace. And of course, to me, that was like undisputable. Like, this was proof. We have proof that Santa exists. So I actually believed in Santa for way longer than other people did. And I like found excuses as to why like certain things didn't add up. For example, like, why are all the Santa Clauses in the malls? And I was just kind of like, well, they aren't the real Santa. You know, the real Santa is a different person. Those are just fake Santas. My dad's cousin would dress up as Santa Christmas Eve because Christmas Eve was a bigger holiday than Christmas Day on my father's side of the family. But Christmas Eve, he would dress up as Santa. And I actually figured out it was him before my other cousins did because I'm older. But I found it out because I always noticed that my dad's cousin wasn't in the room whenever Santa came. And also, like, Santa sounded a lot like my dad's cousin. So there was that. But I just kind of figured, oh, it's just him pretending for the kids, you know. There's still a real Santa. It wasn't until I was much older. I would say like I was almost probably in middle school and I still believed some of it. Looking back, I think that was just me trying to hang on to the magic of the season because by the time I was in middle school, a lot of my family like was beginning to, I guess, crack. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, my parents got divorced. Then after my parents got divorced, it was my aunt and uncle. I think my other aunt and uncle got divorced too, not too long after that. So not the same, because now like some of my cousins weren't there for Christmas or Christmas Eve because they were with, you know, the side of the family that married into our family. And it was just different, you know. And too, as you get older, I feel like the holidays kind of change in meaning. And that's why I kind of struggle with, like, you know, how things are, I guess, this time of year. But I think that's part of, unfortunately, being an adult. So I just think at that point, like, I kind of knew he wasn't real, but I just hung on because for me it was supposed to be magical. Like, I wanted to believe magic was a thing. But I guess, I mean, I still look at snow and think that's magic, so it's just gorgeous. But even though I live in a hot environment, but and it doesn't snow down here. But I like the look of snow. I don't like the cold. So this next ornament was a wreath, and I actually really had fun with this one. I've had a lot of trouble picking out a reference image, which I found surprising because I feel like it shouldn't be that hard to find a wreath that I liked, but the Google search did not deliver. I probably should have gone on Pinterest, but this was one that I really liked. You'll see I do try to do some pine cones, but then I was just like, I really don't have time to make and paint realistic pine cones. So I ended up getting rid of them and just substituting them with the other ornaments. So that'll come a little bit later in the video. We also zoom in too at some point, so you're not just like all the way back out here, but looking at the ribbon right now. I really like how this one came out. I was kind of nervous when I decided to like not completely copy the picture. I ended up forgoing, as I said, the pine cones as well as the branches. So instead we just have ornaments around the whole thing. And I did draw a guide for the wreath. So you'll see like it's faded, this donut shape that's faded, and then I drew line work on top of it to make it look like the branches of a wreath. So this one was, once the bow was done, it was pretty easy and fast from there because I just had to draw quite a few circles, and then, you know, I also had to finish the border to make it look more natural instead of just like a donut. But I definitely think I'll keep similar colors. I might add like one other color because I essentially got rid of the brown and white. So I think we'll have red, and maybe we'll mix in some white and gold or something like that. We'll have to see. I'll definitely be showing you guys in 2 weeks time, or maybe a little bit later. I don't know when the next part's gonna come out. It'll be before Christmas, but it depends how long it takes me to do these, because on top of doing these ornaments, I'm also painting the painting for my brother. But I think I could probably knock that painting out in one day if I just sit and focus on it and nothing else. I will be making a video of that, so stay tuned. I do need your help though, and I'm gonna put a poll out this week. I'm not sure how big to go with it. I ended up deciding on the bubble thumbnail. If you guys saw that in my last video, I'll link it down below, as well as in the upper hand corner here. I talked about basically how I want to do the painting. I did put out a few thumbnail sketches, and I ended up going with the one that is the dog looking up at its owner with the bubbles. So I will be doing that pose of my dog, and I just have to pick a size because I kind of wanted it to be the same size and shape as the painting I have. And if you want to see the painting I have of my dog, again, just go watch that video when you're done here. But it's basically a square, and I believe it's 18 by 18. It might be 16 by 16, I'm not sure, but it's canvas, stretch canvas over wood. So I think I want to do a similar shape and size, but my father has he's been hoarding canvas for years. So my father's just offering me some of his canvas. He said, you can take one of mine. So we'll have to see. And I also have to figure out how I'm going to pack it. I have my big check-in luggage, so I'll probably go that route. And we are coming up at the end of the video, so I am going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's kind of just me sketching and talking, but it's just, I have family visiting and it's the time of year that things get busy. So that's what I have for you. And stay tuned to part 2, which will be in a couple weeks. And next week will be the painting that I do for my brother. So if you want to see how that comes out, you know, next Sunday, it'll be out. All right, guys, have a good week, and I hope you guys are celebrating the season in any way that you can or you do with your family, and have a good week.